Dr. Karen Truesdale Bierman here, licensed psychologist. And I'm here today to share some pro tips on living with cancer. Some of the gifts that come. I know most people know I put out a book in 2020. It was No More Pink. It was a memoir and a guidebook for people coping with cancer. It's intended for anybody whose lives have been touched by cancer. That means a patient or a caregiver, or even professionals, working with that population. I remember when I was in grad school, I worked on the heart transplant unit, but there was also, because it was a health psychology program, there was also an oncology practicum and internship, and I didn't get that when I got the heart transplant unit. But even back then, I would have been interested in it, and I could certainly learned a lot about it because there was some family history of breast cancer and other cancers, so I would have even learned from it back then. But here we are, 2024, Dr. Karen Cancer Experience 2.0. When I dropped my book and when I wrote it, it never occurred to me that I'd be back in an oncology office again or an infusion room or have anything to do with that community. And I kind of, looking back, it's kind of sad I didn't take advantage of a lot of the support groups. And maybe, 10, 12 years ago, they weren't as vibrant as they are now, because I've gotten so much support in the past few years. But enough about me. I just want to share some of my pro tips from living with cancer. Here's some of the tips, like make an effort to be present. I think this is good for all of us. We want to be present with our kids. We want to be present with our loved ones. We want to be present in our work, in our hobbies. I want to be present when I'm on the tennis court and just focusing on the tennis ball and what's happening there. That's a really good gift and kind of a good pro tip. Grounding techniques. I know I've talked about these before. As a psychologist, like when someone's having an active panic attack or anxiety, we talk about grounding. Like, okay, so feel the ground below you, feel the chair beneath you. Look out. So what do you see? Think of, I can see the grass and the trees outside. What can you hear? I can hear the humming of the dishwasher. What can you see? What can you feel? What do you smell? The next tip, make memories with loved ones. I think this is good, for all of us, especially with our children. And then as our parents age, we want to make special memories. The complete solar eclipse was on Monday, and my dad was here, and I had all my kids, and we actually went swimming. And my daughter was in the pool with the two dogs, and the total eclipse happened, so it got kind of dark and cool, and that was a fun memory. And then we had a lunch. As far as in the cancer world, if unfortunately, sometimes that does mean that people aren't here anymore, but you want to leave loved ones with good memories. The Swedish art of death cleaning kind of focuses on, want to leave your loved ones without any messiness, and organize things, and don't leave, your loved ones with a giant attic full of stuff that they have to go through. Find comfort in reuniting with your loved ones, if you haven't seen anybody in a while or someone in a while. I know I had a lot of, when my second cancer experience, a lot of people came to see me that year, in the second year, that I hadn't seen in a while. So that was really nice. You want to find joy in small things. If it's your cup of coffee in the morning, throwing the tennis ball for the dog, maybe a small meal, going for a walk, all the little things, reading a book, maybe you have a favorite show. You want to focus on gratitude. I think that's helpful for all of us, because we can live our life as though everything's a miracle, or as though nothing is. And I choose to live as though everything's a miracle. I think that quote is from Albert Einstein. Everything's a miracle. Waking up in the morning is a miracle. I have children that are thriving. That's a miracle. I'm going to visualize your future. Like what do you want? Like travel? Do you have work goals, things that you want to do with your family? Do you have hobbies or other, sports, other aspirations? And then celebrate every day. I recently created a workbook, an ebook on ADHD, and that was one of the tips in there, was celebrating, celebrate the small wins. I think that kind of leads on over. Now I'm going to talk about a fantastic topic, guilt-free self-care. Make sure that you take time alone, hold your personal boundaries. I know that for me, when I set boundaries, I have this kind of anxiety. It's kind of, even though I'm like, I'm doing the right thing, I'm setting my boundary. I said no, I didn't overdo it, and then I feel guilty. You may need to rest or nap more. Learn to say no. Sometimes silence yourself, just be quiet, forgive yourself. And then be kind of aware of the conversation in your head, the inner critic. Talk to yourself like you would a friend. You wouldn't want a friend, speaking to you don't speak to them in a harsh way. And then professional help is always available. There's support groups. There's really great psychologists and therapists. There's all sorts of tools out there, for pretty much anything. I mean, I'm speaking from the cancer perspective, but for ADD, depression, anxiety, there's a lot of help out there. But I'm really grateful to be here. I'm grateful that you're viewing, and just reach out if you want to grab one of my freebies, if you want to take one of my courses, if you want one of my workbooks. I'm happy to send that along or sign you up. I do believe in the power of groups. I believe in the power of 12 steps, which is, like as far as, the addiction world and codependency, but then, a support group, like I've run parenting support groups and ADD, ADHD support groups. They're not particular, they're not 12-step groups, but you get that kind of that resonance stabilized. You learn from other people. They're going through similar things and they have tips. Okay, this worked for me, this didn't work for me. And that was a beautiful thing with my parenting class, the cohorts that I've ran this year. And then I'm involved in the cancer community and I get a lot out of it. And then I know that, I have a lot of knowledge and experience that I can pass along and share. And I still learn new things. Like there's like medical massage, lymphatic massage. I learned a lot I got into physical therapy in December, and that's changed my life. So there's so much good out in the world. And thank you for tuning in. So reach out. I'll see you later.